All right, it's a given that it won't be too long until you discover that the data in your data source isn't exactly the way you want it. So here's an example. I've got a bar chart titled 2018 Sales Projection. It's just sales by region filtered to 2017. Here's my actual 2017 sales. What I want to do is project 2018 sales and compare the projection for 2018 to the actual from 2017. Well, I would just make use of my projected sales measure that's not here. So the data isn't exactly as I need it. I want to make an addition using something called a calculated field, customize the way my data appears. There are two types of calculated fields. The first I call an ad hoc calculation. I'm going to go to my rows shelf and just double-click after my existing sales measure, and I get a little mini text editor here, and I can start to type and literally begin to type S and then A and then tab to select my sales measure, multiply it times 1.2 to grow it by 20%, and press enter. That is the ad hoc calculation. It's very fast and easy. Here's my second row. The problem is I can't use that ad hoc calculation in any other worksheets. It's only in the worksheet I created in. I want more flexibility, so I'm going to undo the ad hoc calculation and do it the preferred method, which is using something called the calculation editor. I'm going to go to my dimensions portion of my data pane, and there's a little drop-down arrow there. Click and pick Create Calculated Field from the context menu, and that brings up a larger, more flexible calculation editor where I can start by giving my calculation a meaningful name, projected sales. And in the same way I did in the ad hoc, I can begin to type. Autocomplete shows up where all of the S's, either fields or functions, show up. I can even just drag and drop dimensions and measures from the data pane into the calculated field, whatever I want to do, times 1.2. After I stop typing for a couple of seconds, Tableau evaluates my syntax. If it's okay and there are no errors, it says the calculation is valid. Beautiful thing. I click OK. And now I've got a new calculated field in the data pane that I can select, for example, and use with Show Me to do a side-by-side bar chart. And there is my sales versus projected sales using my custom calculation. Pretty straightforward. If I want to edit the calculation, make a change, back over to my data pane I go, and there's a little tiny equal sign in front of projected sales. That means it's a calculated field. Right-click or drop-down arrow, edit it. The calculated field editor comes back up. We can change our 1.2 to a 0.9. If we think we're going to have a 10% loss, click OK. The chart changes, and that is ready to use in any worksheet I want. Process is the same in Tableau Server as you see here or Tableau Desktop. Either way, custom calculations let you create data however you need. You've got an exercise number 1 for doing calculated fields. It's about 15 minutes of work. Have fun, and I'll check in with you in about 15.